We're live.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the May 11th, 2020 City Council here in downtown Scottsburg. City Council chambers here. And this is Monday evening. We're getting started a little bit later, so I apologize. Our delinquency, we're probably starting here about 30 minutes late. So the way we always open here at Scottsburg City Council, we're going to open in prayer. So y'all don't mind, let's just bow for word of prayer. Father, we thank you for the day you've given it to us. You've given us a day of l'chaim, of life itself. And we praise you and we thank you for your presence, for your provision, Father, and for yourself. Father, even in a time of stress throughout this world, of something that we cannot see, you still provide protection. So, Father, we pray for your understanding in these times, for discernment in these times, Father. As leaders of the city of Scottsburg, we pray for wisdom, for counsel, Father, and for this city. Protect us and keep us into yourself, and we represent the light of Jesus. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, let's have a roll call.
Mayor Amick.
Here.
Chris Albertson.
Here.
Bill Hoagland.
Here.
Rick Mann.
Here.
Christian Evans.
Here.
Chuck Rose.
Here.
Okay, thank you. The first thing we have on our agenda is the approval of the minutes for April 27th. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of April 27th?
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Christian Evans. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Bill Hoagland, second. What comments or questions do you have about the minutes? Hearing none, I'll ask for all in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Hearing none, minutes, approval of minutes is passed. The first thing on our agenda is old business. And this is the second reading of ordinance 2020-5, an ordinance to adopt the rental policy and rate for the Mid-America Science Park. Jessica, do you have anything to say about this?
I currently don't at this moment. I've had questions from a few of you, and I hope I've answered those. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Let me tell you just real quick what has happened at the Mid-America Science Park. You know, I put Jess as the spearhead for out there, and currently we have Jess out there right now as well as Ashley Campbell. And we are going through contracts, we are going through rooms, we are setting up schedules and deposits and making sure that we have everything in place. There are a lot of contracts that we had that are being canceled, you know, to save funding. So, you know, for the Mid-American Science Park, this has really kind of been it's been a good thing to have a little bit of a break, and we can kind of reset ourselves, and I'll let you guys know more as we go forward. What questions do you have about the Mid-America Science Park over here?
Terry, I guess I had talked to Jess about the rates, the rate schedule that we had gotten before the last meeting. I went out there and looked around, and that there are a lot of rooms that don't appear on that list. And Jess explained the reason for that. I guess where I am in my thinking right now is, do we need to go ahead with adopting these rates? Would it be wise to table this and, you know, get all the rooms on there? I mean, we haven't even addressed the classroom rate and training center. So, I mean, we're going to have to come back and revisit that anyway. I told you I had no problem with the policies. I had no problem with the, you know, with the procedures and those kinds of things. I just wonder about, you know, finalizing the rate before we have a real good handle on what we're passing. And she didn't seem to think that it would be an issue. It wouldn't delay their work. We need to table this and come back with it. If we don't want to do that, I would like to recommend that instead of having a list of rooms, that we pass this based on the cost analysis sheet that Joe Pearson and Bob Holt put together. That would be the February 1st, 2020 list. And base everything on that rather than on list of rooms, because on their cost analysis sheet, they have all of them on there.
I don't disagree with that, Chuck. As a matter of fact, I'll be real honest. We've gone out there and we walked past all the rooms. We identified different rooms. We have, our team has a general idea of all the layout. We took a team out there, probably 6 or 7 of us, and somewhere ran it through there. But I'm going to tell you, I haven't had a chance to go out there and spend a day or two. Now I'm planning on that. Spending time out there, going to each room and just comparing what Bob and Joe has. I think they're high on some, I think they're low on others. So,
well, and I think now's the time, to let's get a handle on that. If it's not going to delay the process, I don't want to do anything that's going to hamper Jess and the work that they're doing out there. But I also am afraid that if we pass these rates, we finalize them, and if we come back and start revising them, and we end up with 4 or 5 different rate sheets floating around, it's going to be very confusing. And I personally would like to look at the classroom space and the training center space at the same time, because they're very different. But I think we need to have discussion about both at the same time, if that makes sense.
And the only thing that I would ask is that the council would give their blessing or approval, or however Josh would say that we need to say it, to have temporary pricing while this is going on, that I would be able to use the cost analysis for events that we are temporarily, or that we are booking while you guys are looking at this, so that I do have at least some sort of rate structure to be able to base things off of until you guys finalize what your decision would be.
And the sheet that you gave us is based off of that costing sheet anyway, so I wouldn't have a problem doing that, Jess. I really wouldn't. And I want to say again, you have to talk to us. I don't want to do anything that's going to delay what you're doing or make what you're doing more difficult.
And I appreciate that.
I like what Jess is saying too, Chuck, because right now, we're in a lockdown situation, but we also had a bank call and said, we are in a lockdown, but we need to do a closing there. So we had a closing today with a bank. We've got Samtec coming in there on a few things. So we're in a lockdown, but everything is precautionary, and we're going forward. So with that said, are you making a motion then, Chuck? Would you like to make a motion to basically table it as far as the permanent passing this, but then also then to go ahead and to use the current rate structure that we currently have given by Joe Pearson and Bob Pogel in the intermediate area until we come up with a final vote on this?
I'm good with that, Terry. Do we need to add just to the policies and all those other things that are woven into this? I mean, do you need those passed as well tonight?
The Board of Works has approved the forms. On the policy, the only portion I think that's not standard that would need council approval, and I'm going to ask our legal counsel to clarify that I am correct on this, would be the portion on the alcohol dependent upon the ruling of our insurance company as to whether or not, if our insurance allows it, will we allow alcohol to be served by a third-party licensed bartender with them carrying their liability insurance. That will be something, but that's not something we necessarily have to approve tonight.
No, and the Board of Works approved that description contingent upon finding that information out. So as of now, our paper, our description, our rules say no alcohol.
Until we find that out. And that's until we find out what insurance says, which we do have messages into insurance, but we've not heard back, and we are following up.
I don't, as far as my position, and and again, this is kind of gonna be up to you guys here, but my position is, I don't want the city of Scottsburg selling alcohol. Now, if somebody comes in there and they bring their alcohol for a wedding, they bring a bartender in, that's up to them. And I think that's where we're asking for
That's what it would be, but
the insurance to give us their
Right.
blessing or not.
Yeah, I don't want the city to be in the business of selling alcohol. I don't think we've ever done that, have we?
no.
Up there, pardon me?
No, it has always been that they have to provide a licensed bartender that's been
Right.
licensed by the state and carry
I thought
insurance.
that's the case, but I just want to clarify, but no, Terry, I'm in line with you on that.
Okay, bud. So then, are you proposing then putting forth a motion, Chuck, to then table this on?
Yes, I'd like to table this until such time that we can get, we can get everybody in agreement on what the finalized rate should look like, not only for the business rates, but again, for classroom space and training center rates.
And at any time, if the council members want a one-on-one tour or set up a tour, me and Ashley would love to give it to you. I'm sure the mayor would love to be there as well. We will walk you through and show you everything that you guys would, are looking at.
While you may have seen it and know it, we also want to alert you of changes that what we're going to be doing. Okay, so do I have then a second to Chuck's motion?
I'll second.
Okay, Bill Hoagland second. Are there other questions or comments about item 2, the second reading? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Hearing none, so passed. Going down to new business.
I would like to read that back to be sure I've got that.
Okay.
Josh is in approval with it. It said, Chuck Rose made the motion to table ordinance 2020-5 and approval to use cost analysis done on 2/1/2020 for fees to charge until ordinance 2020-5 has passed.
I'm fine with
Right.
It was what basic, okay, I wanted to be sure.
That's
that
exactly
that
what.
was- Okay,
Okay, everybody good?
thank you.
Okay. Going down to new business on number 1, the Mass Park Training Director position. Chuck, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, Sarah, I'd be glad to. As you know, we have a training center director in place. That would be Linda Gilray. Her contract, she's actually contracted through EDC. Her contract is funded through the end of this month. At that time, EDC will not hold the contract, so we need a city employee as to serve as the training center director. I talked with Terry, talked with Jan, and we had looked at this salary as being, a $55,000 salary. So I would hope that we could get this job description passed and get everything in order so that we can have somebody ready to take over there June the 1st. We'll open this up, have some kind of a selection process, accept applications, and then do interviews and come with our recommendation for who that person should be.
Okay, now I want council to know that basically what Chuck and I have talked about is basically this is going to be a separate entity to the person who's actually going to watch over the real estate. The training park director position is just that. That individual is going to be over all the educational part of that facility, both as far as basically everything encompassing education. That's going to be part of that director's position.
Education and training, that would be with the, facilitating things with the RMA, working with the local high school, workforce development kinds of things. I mean, working with University, Ivy Tech, all of those kinds of things that we're doing out there now. This person will assume responsibility for.
Now, I want you to hear that. Now, I also want you to hear that I put Jessica Jones as basically the main spearhead there over that part. She's not over the training. Now, I need Jessica in other areas. So I'm going to actually try to hire a person for right around $17 an hour, $18 an hour to kind of be in that position, to be there to make sure this person will rent the properties. They will rent the rooms, collect the rents, basically oversee the overall building management, as it were, but nothing to do with the education.
Right, and I don't think Jess wants anything to do with the training center, do you, Jess?
No, she does not. I can tell you that.
Based on my conversation with her, I think her plate is full enough.
And I don't believe to the council that this position was calculated in the proposed budget that we gave you when we did the additional appropriation earlier this year. Guess what? March the 30th. But
The one I'm talking about is the one Chuck's talking
about. The training center was not calculated in
Yeah,
there.
we had,
Wasn't it?
I thought we had two positions, I don't want to mention names, but we had someone who was going to be the site director and then someone the training center director. I thought we had included those two positions. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think you're wrong, because we never had anything firm when we got worked on the budget. There was no final answer, I guess, should we say.
I mean, well, and at that time, we may have been talking about, contracting till the end of the year, then establishing.
There was lots of options, so again, and I could be wrong, but I
just felt like we accounted for that someplace in there, but, I don't have that from me. It's been a while back.
Yeah, we've had COVID, haven't we? So yeah.
Yeah. Well, but the bottom line is, I'm concerned about, how we restart things up there after the stay home ends and, the quarantine and all those kinds of things. It's going to be critical that we get somebody in there who can get those things going again. And we're going to need a training center director out there, or we're not going to get what we need.
I agree. Yes, I agree, Chuck.
So, I mean, if you look at Chuck's 55 and mine probably 36, we're probably talking about 91 for both positions.
Plus benefits, if they would
Plus
be plus
benefits.
benefits. So that's another 45.
So that gives you some type of kind of where we're at on that. But, I think all of us don't want to, I don't believe any of us wants to stop the educational sector of the Mid-American Science Park. Go ahead, Christian, was that you?
No.
Okay. I heard something.
No.
Okay, what other questions, comments do you have about what we've just talked to you about? Okay, hearing none, let's go down then to item B, discuss changing the meeting from Memorial Day to what day would you desire?
Terry, do we need to take action on that job description? I was hoping that we could get everything finalized so that I could make Linda aware of what this process is going to look like in a timeline. I don't want to go until the end of May and her contract run out and her be surprised that she didn't have a job or she didn't have an opportunity to apply for a job.
Okay, let me stop there, guys. I'm sorry, Chuck. I should have gone further with that then. Let's go back then to the training director position with Linda. Have you talked to her about this position, Chuck, and what it pays?
Well, not in specifics, but that's what I want to be able to do in fairness to her is to explain what's going to be happening at the end of the month and what the salary is going to be. And, then she can decide what she wants to do.
So do we then need
Wants to
a,
apply.
do we then need a motion to go forward with the job description you've put forth with a salary of 55,000?
Am I not correct that the job description would get approved by Board of Works and this would just be, they would approve the salary for the position?
Okay, I don't, is
Yeah.
that what okay. Did you hear that, guys?
Yeah, we need a motion to approve the salary, and then the Board of Works will do the job description, right?
Yes, that's what Jessica just said, yes.
So I'll make a motion to approve the salary.
Okay, we have a motion.
Can I ask one question here real
Sure,
quick?
sure.
I don't want to use names of specifics, but I think we're kind of to that point. Discussing Linda, and I'm going to lean on Chuck on this. Is there, and I know you were saying you would like to give her some type of guidance, is there a chance that we could keep her in that position? I'm a little unclear as to, the salary. I mean, is keeping her in that position contingent on this approval of this salary?
No, I think this salary is less than what her contracted amount to EDC currently is. So I think to be fair to her, she needs to know that this will become a city position and that the salary will be $55,000 a year for that, with benefits. And then, she can decide if she wants to apply. I think in fairness to the process, we open it up to anyone who wants to apply and then go through some sort of selection process and, determine who the best candidate would be.
Well, I guess the reason I asked that question is obviously she is familiar with what the job description entails, considering that she has been in that position. I guess my question, without getting into I want to be careful about where I want to here, but if we can, I know the 55,000 number has been approached, but if we can keep her, and what would that number look like? I'm not, obviously going to say we approve a different number necessarily, but I think if we could keep her, I think that would be a huge asset for us. I don't know how much more the salary needs to increase, but would there be any discussion to explore that?
Well, I think that's something that, I'd be able to discuss. I think we're pushing, that the 55 is kind of pushing the limits of what everyone feels comfortable offering. A city employee moving into that job would be high. I'm just speaking for myself. I've had several discussions with Terry and Jan and some others. So you might need to hear about their kind of race of that time.
No, absolutely. I was curious as to, if we keep Linda, I don't know what those salaries look like. I can second the number as well, 55 getting above that, I would have to really kind of see what that looks like. But I'm just curious with that process.
Well, Christian, what we get into is balancing salaries, in different positions around the city. It's easy to get one person out of whack compared to others, and
Absolutely.
that's one of the problems. And we just want to be sensitive to that.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Christian. Good question. Do you have other questions for Chuck?
No, I'm good.
Okay, then Rick made the motion. I'm sorry.
So this was not one of the positions that was on the earlier salary ordinance amendment. So it will need to be added to the salary ordinance.
So
And we can do all of that tonight. We would need a motion to approve on one reading. That motion would have to be approved unanimously, and then we would have an actual vote on the amendment itself, and that would have to be passed by 2/3 to actually go into effect today.
Did everybody hear and understand that?
Yeah, I would make that motion to pass it on one reading.
And
That's
that,
correct, Josh?
That is what I'm advising. If that is the direction you want to go tonight, if you're wanting to get this effective today, then yes, you would need to have action to hear it on one reading and then approve it. So that way.
and this would become ordinance number 2020-6.
Thank you.
2020-6, ordinance would be then to approve the motion to install a Mid-American Science Park train.
What we just approving on one
Yeah,
motion?
it's,
First, you have to do.
yeah. Approve on first, or approve on one motion,
One reading.
on one reading, the ordinance.
That's the first part of it.
So we need a motion to approve the training director position on one reading. And that's
So
what,
that's establishing the position and the salary, is that correct?
Yes.
Josh, you'll write that up, correct?
I
And
sure
send it
will.
to- Send it to my person who usually has that printed.
you want to read that to everybody, Josh?
I love these things.
Marty's got my only copy, so.
How's that read, Marty?
So I believe it's supposed to be that Rick is making a motion to approve establishing the position of Park Training Director and the salary of $55,000 on one reading of
Ordinance 2020.
of ordinance 2020-6.
That's what I
That's
did.
correct.
Marty, did I get it?
Plus benefits.
Plus benefits, yes.
Simple.
Okay, Rick, are you okay making that motion there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm okay.
But you've got to repeat it.
Only if you repeat that, Rick.
Send it to me. Yes.
I'm typing it down so I can remember.
Okay, is there a second to Rick's motion?
I
Chuck seconds. What questions or comments do you have? Okay, hearing no questions or comments on the motion to approve in this reading on motion 2020-6, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Hearing none, so passed. So passes in one reading, this position.
That gives us the authority to move forward with the one reading. Now we actually vote on the substance of the ordinance.
Okay, so now we need to have a motion
I'll make that motion, Matt.
by Christian Evans voting on the substance.
That's.
This is a little crazy.
It is the state procedure under statute to proceed with passing an ordinance on one reading. So
Okay, so we've made the motion to pass it on one reading. Now we're making the motion to go forward in passing that ordinance for the Mid-American Science Park Training Director position.
Correct.
Okay, so Christian Evans made that motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Chuck Rhodes, second. Are there questions, comments on this motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Hearing none, so passed. Chuck, before I leave it again, what else do we have on that one, buddy?
Any more parts to it?
The only question I would have, Jerry, is, the Board of Works has already met this evening, and I'm assuming did not consider the job description. Is there a way that they can be contacted and approve the job description before the next meeting?
Yes, we will act on that right away for you.
Okay, well, I just wanted to, just want to make sure that we cover that. I want to be able to tell whatever candidate that this is the actual approved job description.
Yep. That'll be good. We're good. We'll get that done tomorrow.
I will send it out tonight and get it through so that hopefully we'll have a result tomorrow.
We'll try to have a result for you tomorrow, buddy.
Send that to me too, because I
Thank
didn't.
you, we'll all get it going.
I don't think I did.
It was in the account.
Get candidates lined up.
Okay, that sounds good. Any other questions or comments on the Mid-American Science Park training position or Mid-American Science Park before we leave that subject? Okay, does anyone have on B a date you would like to have the city council on? Being that Memorial Day is the 25th. We're pulling our calendars up now.
From the 26th, and we usually just move it to the following Tuesday.
Josh is probably going to that day. You going that day,
I
Josh?
think so.
But you have Austin.
No, it's the second Tuesday of the month.
Okay, so it's the 26th, okay, guys?
Yeah,
That works for me.
that works.
That's best for our bill paying and calculating what we need to do is to keep it that close to it. So
Okay,
my office appreciates it.
we're gonna go to the 26th then. Item C, I actually have a D on here as well. Item C is the Chris Sprigler. Chris Sprigler, as you know,
Chad.
oh, sorry, I knew that. I knew that. Sorry, guys. Chad Sprigler and Marvin came up, and just to give you a heads up, they kind of brought me up to date what they're doing, and on the square, their restaurateur opted not to go forward in his COVID-19, says he still is interested. He just wants to get through this COVID-19. Doesn't mean it's going away, doesn't mean it's coming. But that's what they're working on. I think all of you have seen the drawings he has. They are continuing on. He said they're starting back on the renovation of the upstairs apartments on those 3 buildings. So he does want to have kind of a higher end apartment in downtown Scottsburg on that. So just to bring you up to date, they haven't forgotten us, but the COVID-19 is throwing everybody a curveball on that. Questions, comments on that one?
I'm just glad we're still interested about the COVID-19 creating a lot of uncertainty in the restaurant business.
They're still making their payments right there,
Yes.
and they're up to date on their payments. So, anybody else on questions on that? They're real interested in Scottsburg and would really like to even continue developing here in buildings. So, I mean, you know, and so they do, you know, they do housing and multi-housing as well. Item D that's not on your list is just the Guthrie-Hayes agreement. We were supposed to have this rate meeting by May 31st. Because of the COVID-19, this has all been delayed. So I contacted both individuals and told them what, you know, we just are not getting this done because of everything. So we asked for a 90-day reprieve, and so they both agreed to it. So we do have, Josh has made a form for them to sign to give us an extension for 90 days. So any questions or comments about that?
This document was sent to you this afternoon after it was received from legal counsel.
And we got the document today from legal counsel. Have you seen the document?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
August 31st?
Yeah.
Is that?
August 31st is when we will have to have the rate study looked at again.
It's not this, it's not here, just a public hearing.
I think
It's a
it
public
was a public
hearing.
hearing on the rate study, wasn't
Public hearing, I think, all the requirements.
Yeah.
it? Yeah, public hearing on the rate study. Okay. Okay, what else do we have? Okay, well, I'll tell you what,
They need to make a motion to approve
approved what?
the agreement.
Yes.
Oh, the agreement
Yes,
with.
council was a party to the suit.
Okay, so basically, so we need a motion, to go forward with the extension of the agreement. Is that correct, Jess?
Yes.
So we need a motion to go forward with a 90-day extension on the agreement with the Guthrie-Hayes. Who would like to make the motion for that?
I'll make the motion.
Jeff Rose makes the motion. Do we have a second on the motion?
I'll second.
Bill Hoagland seconds. Are there questions or comments about this? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, like sign. So passed. Okay, gentlemen, what else do we have for tonight? Questions, comments, concerns? I can tell you from my lonely position here, I miss you guys.
I look forward to being able to get back together and have a good discussion.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. So, this too shall pass. This too shall pass for such a time as this, so it's a crazy time, guys. And I tell you this, from my vantage point in the second story on the corner of Main and McLean, I've never seen as many women smiling as they entered into the hair salons today. So it was.
Were they smiling going in or coming out?
Yes. Yes to both. So it was a wonderful day in the neighborhood. And, so anyway, thank you for hanging in there. Just to give you a heads up, we have a COVID-19 meeting every Monday at 1 p.m. If you want to join, you're always welcome to join in on that. We have EMS, we have hospital, we have 911, not EMS, we have 911, the hospital, we have the health department, we have Austin, we have the jail, we have City of Scottsburg. Who am I missing, Jessica?
County fire department.
We have county fire departments. And I can tell you right now, we have no COVID-19 patients or anybody that's ever tested positive COVID-19 in any of our nursing homes. I repeat, none. We have no COVID-19 we have none in our jails as well. So,
Hey, Jeff.
Yes.
Hey, can you resend that email invite out that I've tried a couple times to get on, and for some reason, I don't know what, I'm never able to get through.
That's perfectly fine. What I will do is I will resend the email to all of the council with the information and the time that we meet on that so that you guys all have the updated information on that call.
it's 1 p.m. every Monday, guys. So if you can get on, jump right on there, and you're welcome to make any comments. It's all of us talking together. Michelle at the health department mentioned today, with funerals, for example, the governor's now recognizing a graveside service as a religious event, and so the 25 number does not apply to that.
But it does
apply
to the view.
to the viewing. So just to give you heads up, if any of your people ask you that, so that was news to me today. What else did you hear?
Positives. One thing that they are stressing and have put a public media notice out on their Facebook is that with the continuation of more testing sites opening up, more citizens of the community being tested, as well as having the 1,000 people that was tested at factories in our community, our numbers will be on the rise. However, it's because we are having more testing being done. And they did also say that so far we have been lucky that we have no first responders or law enforcement that have been affected as well.
I thought that was great news. We talked about supplies. Everybody seems to have enough supplies right now. If anybody in your areas need to know, we are also going forward with the Scottsburg outreach. So people who would like to have us call them every day. We have people who are going to call every day, take food to them if they need, get over-the-counter medicine to them. So we have that outreach ongoing right now as well.
Mayor, can I ask one quick question? I was just curious as to what your office, City Hall, was the kind of the plan of action for reaching out to businesses in Scottsburg. Have you personally reached out, or has there been a plan of action to reach out to those businesses to see what precautionary measures? I know Jessica just laid out, the 1,000 steps that's been issued to some of those businesses. Just curious as to what you guys are doing within City Hall and in your office to reaching out to them and checking in on their protocol and procedures and making sure that they have all the tools in their toolbox from the city standpoint.
That's a good question. I tell you what, one of the things, what we've done, as you all know, we have applied for a grant from the state to be able to help supply the businesses. The county applied for a grant to be able to provide foodstuffs. We've applied for a grant for the businesses. So we hope to get that. We've not heard any word from that yet. So far we've not offered that to anyone. We have reached out to several who are in need that are kind of on a list if we do get this. Or I should say they've reached out to us. Also, we've reached out to several businesses to make sure how they're maintaining, and we've also been in, we've reached out to our major retailers and I've been pleased with what they've done. They're sanitizing handles. They're maintaining a limited amount of numbers. They've got clickers at the door and subtractors at the door. They have, they've got markings. So in a bad situation, it looks to me as if they are maintaining what needs to be done. If you see something that is not going on, please let me know. Also, Chris, I wanted to talk to you and Chuck Rose as well. And basically, if you've been notified by the lady on Crystal Gale Heights, and my day today was crazy, and I meant to call both of you and let you know about this. So, but this was a drainage issue, and we did have a resolve. We did have a resolve to it.
Okay, good. I had talked with Jason Applegate Friday and gone up and had a look at it. So I didn't know the issue had been resolved.
Well, let me say this. It hasn't been resolved, but a resolution to go forward was thought through with Jason Applegate, because Jason Applegate was there with me today. And going through this property, we did find a resolve to do this. And this is going to be part on the city and part on the homeowner. And it will not only help this resident, but all the residents on that street. So we are applying for a community crossings grant, whether we get it or not. That area does not have a storm drain, so we're going to put a storm drain down at Crystal Gale Heights. It may be the fall before we get that done, because I'd like to pave. They didn't pave that. They paved that Lawrence Drive and Sharon Drive, but they didn't pave Crystal Gale Heights. So right now we can kind of dig that up on that section and put a storm drain going down through there, and then repave that whole area. So we can definitely put the storm drain. So, but anyways, that's kind of what happened on that today. Also to let you know, we're well over 120 citations that's been issued, and it's getting higher every day with grass growing. But a lot of these are the move-in positions. I had to literally go to one person's house today that we are ready to take action on, and they promised me they would have it cleaned up tomorrow. So, and if not, I'm going to seek counsel from our city's legal counsel here as to our next move to make, because I want to make it on Wednesday. We don't move tomorrow. So what other questions do you have?
I have none.
Appreciate the update on the Crystal Gale Heights property.
Absolutely. That's good to hear that. Put the storm drain in there. The storm sewer is the only thing that's going to help that. That's the only thing.
Yeah, and what we suggested to them, there's a new house going up next to them, and we're suggesting that to that contractor as well, that they put kind of a horseshoe corrugated pipe in there with a sock on it. If you put a sock on those things, you're not gonna get dirt and rock in there. So if you just put a horseshoe around that whole side where it's low and back where it's low, bring it out to the city street. And let our storm drains take it from there. So they were in agreement with that. Now, I haven't talked to the other residents on that area, but those two are definitely gonna be affected. The people that are there now, the house is going up.
It will help. I promise.
Yes, sir. It sure will. So.
Mayor, where do we, just not change the subject, where do we stand on, I know the conversation you and I have had in the past on the, I guess we can call it a shed, there on Cedar Street, that ties in there, that corner there. I know you said that you maybe did the citation for that property to be cleaned up, obviously it's an eyesore right there.
We have, and I have two sledgehammers, one for you and one for me. So, again, that's one that the time has elapsed, and that is one that I am seeking our legal counsel here. And the only problem is the court's closed. Do I need a court citation to go forward and tear that down? So if I don't need it, I'll be calling you the next day or two, because we're ready to do that.
I'll be ready.
Yes, sir. Yes. So, if it doesn't fall down before we get there, I mean, it kind of looks like the Leaning Tower of Scottsburg.
That's a compliment.
Amen. Amen. Yes, it is. So, good questions. What other questions do you have?
I think I'm
Chuck, you good?
I'm good, thank you.
Bill? Chris? Chris, you good, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good. I don't have any questions. Thank you, though.
Okay. Rick, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Well, guys, with nothing else, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, gentlemen, enjoy your supper tonight.
You made the motion, was that Chris
Thank you.
Evans
Good night, all.
or Chris Albertson?
Chris Albertson.
Thank you, guys. Have a blessed evening.